We've got three groups of people here, the guys in front, the guys and ladies in front, people over here to the left, and people over here to the right. They will all secure the stage with your help. Each and every one of you are members of the public and you have civil rights.
There's 16 riot vans, guys. 16 riot vans round the back. Remember, we are peaceful. They cannot do anything if you stay within the law.
I think the first thing to bear in mind is the media. Before any mention of lockdown occurred, the government got Ofcom to tell the media that they were not to report any contrary narratives. That is why you never hear anything about people who are challenging what's going on. It's pretty unlikely much of what we're doing today will be reported in the mainstream media. Even if you look around, there's a huge crowd here. That won't get reported. And that's because they're not reporting contrary narratives. NHS England, at the government's direction no doubt, though nobody put their names to it, it ordered the hospitals to discharge the old people into the old people's homes, even if the doctors knew they had got coronavirus. The government doesn't actually want us to know what our rights are. They just want us to do what they say, be sheep, wear the masks, and do as we're told. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not very keen on wearing the mask, but if I'm going to wear a mask, I'm going to wear this one. I'm going to wear this one. What do you think?
This will be the only mask I've ever put on since this unlawful lockdown, I can absolutely assure you. And I'm going to do it for a camera shoot just for Robin. You heard Robin Tilbrook. I'm just going to say one thing. Everybody, go on to Amnesty International. Look up the Red Armies tactic, the 3Ds. They were fantastic at overpowering the prisoners and breaking them. Those 3Ds, disability, dependency, dread. Disability, they've got all of us thinking we're dirty, diseased, virus-ridden individuals. They're telling us we can spread a virus that doesn't even exist, and we have to wear a rag across our gobs. The second one, dependency. They're telling us that we need to listen to the lying liars of lies government and the BBC, and there's lockdowns and curfews, because remember, Mr. Corona can tell the time and read the calendar. Then they have us in dread. People are losing their businesses. People are using food banks while Boris Johnson's still fat. People are very soon going to lose their homes. They're going to be evicted. When the furlough ends, people are going to start having their houses repossessed. If you are standing together with your fellow man and not thinking about yourself, you will not allow it. You will stand at the end of your street and not allow them to repossess the properties. Are you going to do that? Are you going to stand with your fellow man against tyranny? Now we're going to hear from an amazing woman. She's in Ireland. I can't even really go into everything that she's done. I'm in awe of her. She spoke out continually. She was held for 3 hours in the airport in Dublin recently. I think there's like 20 of her because she's kind of here, there and everywhere. I want to hear you have a great big round of applause for not only a colleague, she's a friend, she's soon going to be helping myself and Dr. Kevin Corbett to set up a new nursing and midwifery board. Let's hear it for Professor Deloris Cahil!
I am a scientist, I'm an immunologist, and I know that vaccines can make people sick, but I'm also a mother. And if you didn't know what I knew, you would have trusted the government. You would have trusted the doctors. You would have trusted the regulators and the media. And why we're here today is that I can tell you they have breached that trust. They put out a leaflet to say that vaccines have been safety tested. Have they been safety tested? No! They tell you in a little leaflet the only thing that's going to happen if you get vaccinated is a little swelling. Is that true? No! You can get multiple sclerosis. You can get juvenile arthritis. You can get anaphylactic shock. You can get allergies. And when I've been talking to the parents, there's about 12 different autoimmune diseases you can get, and the girls that get them, they get all of them together. So that we're here, is anyone here a parent? Is anyone here an aunt, an uncle, a cousin? Is anyone here a grandparent, a neighbor? We are here to say that the truth will win out. They can't keep hiding it. We have come together because we've been working for the doctors and the Department of Health and the General Register's Office and the Chief Statistics Office, and not me but other people have been using this notice of liability. And we were writing to the doctors, Department of Health, and saying, who is signing the death certs? Okay? Because to solve this problem, this is a global problem, you have to actually lay the problem down at an actual doctor who is a person, or the minister, or the Prime Minister in Ireland, Micheál Martin, or Boris Johnson. So we were writing in saying, who signed the death certs? And the doctors were saying, it's not us, go to the Department of Health. The Department of Health was saying the General Register's Office. But it turns out in Ireland the responsibility lies with the coroners. And those coroners, there's an act, and if they don't do an autopsy and they don't do their job and question a diagnosis of COVID-19, the coroners can go to prison. And the crime is malfeasance. And in the UK, it's 10 years in prison. We have a letter, yeah, and we will put it on where we have World Doctors Alliance, and we also have different organizations. But with that letter, what we've done in Ireland, people have written to the coroners, and they were telling us the deaths, sadly, were 1,700. But we have been writing since May, and now in the last week, the Chief Statistics Office in Ireland has come because we laid the responsibility at their door. And they said the total number of people that died in Ireland of coronavirus in November, December, January 2020, February 2020, and March 2020, guess how many people? Zero! 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 So all of this legislation, this public health emergency that Boris has brought in, and Matt Hancock, and Priti Patel, who's going to call the police if you have 7 people in your back garden, it's all based on a public health emergency. How can you have a public health emergency if 0 people die? 0. And what I will be saying to you is, Ireland and England, Wales and Scotland, we're all in the same region. So in the coronavirus peak is between December and April. If nobody is dying, official statistics, then the legal basis of the public health emergency is not there. End the lockdown. Freedom and truth. Freedom and truth.
People in days gone by. So when they find these little fragments of genes, they can't say which organism they came from because they came from this soup. This is scientific fraud. No virus was ever purified in order to identify it. Even the authors of all the main papers have admitted this in writing. Yet the government, media, and the masses still walk around as obedient slaves in fear of this concocted, contrived existential threat. The scientists then took out even more of these gene fragments. In one paper, they sequenced more than 20,000. They used computer modeling to fit these little fragments together like puzzle pieces into one long sequence. They fill in gaps along the way with made-up sequences from other experiments. Then they call this a genome, the entire genetic sequence of an organism. There is no contagion, human-to-human spread, which has ever been proven in an experiment. Healthy people cannot pass this or any other illness to each other. How can you pass an illness you don't have? There's no such thing as an asymptomatic carrier. This is a lie. Let's talk about the tests. These tests are also meaningless. Do we really even need a test to tell us that someone has a deadly disease? Should we just see them being sick and dying? And why are we testing healthy people? There is no test for a virus that exists. There's only a test for gene fragments of unknown origin. We don't know what the tests are even detecting. There's no gold standard, no error rate, no government approval, and no credible science behind these tests. If you're not sick, you're not sick, and no test matters. The more tests performed, which has been what they've been doing lately, the more false positive cases you'll find, and that's how they're manipulating people right now. From fraudulent claims about a fake virus, horrifically inaccurate computer model predictions, meaningless test results, fraudulent death certificates, staged hospital video footage, staged field hospitals, fake burial pits, fake ventilator shortages, and much more, the stage has been set for tighter control. We've been wrapped up in restrictions reserved for prisoners, house arrest, standing on marked spaces in the floor, and social isolation. We already know vaccines kill and injure many around the world. We already know they want to use DNA and RNA in the vaccine to modify our own genes. We know they want to implant a chip to track and control us. We cannot wait for these things to realize. We must end this now.
I am here because I am looking for an answer to all of the bullshit that's being sold to us in relation to this coronavirus. Yeah, from the beginning of the virus, from the beginning of the promotion of the virus, I've always had doubts about some of the language being used. For example, social distancing. Actually, they mean physical distance. So why are you using this language, social? It made me think this feels less to do with health and more to do with society and the way in which society communicates. I love people, yeah? And the idea that we have to separate from people to live feels the opposite of living, yeah? To be told that we can only congregate in groups of 6 says more to me about power silencing people. So for me, we are here to regain our voice as people, yeah? That's what it is. You know, I'm no health person, yeah? But going by the information that I've been looking at, it feels like a flu to me, yeah? So obviously we're entering a flu season now, and that is going to allow the powers that be to start talking some real shit and really forcing us in and blaming us for these myths that are happening, you know? I'm not down with it, you know? And I want to share my truth with people, you know? And I hope that most of us can come together and share our truth and hold each other and touch each other and not feel as though we're murdering each other simply by embracing each other. So for me, I want to return back to love, please.
Well, I don't think it's real. If it is real, then it's not really affecting a lot of people, is it? And the fact that 99.6% people survive, it's not really something I should worry about. I think people should be more worried about HIV and things like that, where you are more likely to catch HIV than this corona thing. So the Bible talks about in the last days, people will be forced to take a mark in their right hand or their forehead, and they can't buy and sell without it. So this seems like the prelude to what the Bible was prophesied thousands of years ago. That's what it looks like to me.
Brother Barry here for the freedom of our people. The more of us sit on our behinds, is the more the advantage they'll take of us. So you've got a lot of freedom speakers here. They're telling us what's going on in this plandemic. So the plandemic has to be over. So if you don't come out and represent, or if you don't represent from your home, you will be in trouble. This is not, there's no virus. You don't catch a virus. Your body comes with virus. It's natural. You know, my body's like trillions of years old. It's made for all kinds of viruses. Indestructible. That's what we are. So therefore, these people are telling us we need virus. No. So many people believe because they believe it because they're told it, and they believe in their government. They don't believe their government will turn them a lie, but the government has always lied. Politicians are liars, born to lie, professional liars. You know, that's why in England we had Bernie Grant. He was about one of the few that actually told the truth. That's why we looked after him, you understand? But this lot here, never. They don't have no truth in them at all. If we don't want vaccination, then we don't take vaccination. You represent us, we don't represent you. So if you're giving us something that's not been tested, human tested since 1948, I researched, 1948 was the last testing of a virus, or not a virus, of a vaccine for the human body. So all these vaccines they're giving us have been illegal, and they've written up a law where if you get damaged by the vaccine, they've waived that you've been hurt by them. They don't even have to pay for damaging you or killing your child. You understand what I'm saying? My children don't have no vaccine in them. And that's what it's about. You don't give your children. You don't give in to their tyranny. How is it going to end? It's up to you. If you don't get up and do something, you will be a part of it. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights.
It's nice to be around like-minded people. From the start, I knew this thing wasn't going to be no bigger than no common cold, no flu. You understand? They're showing you people dropping down in the streets in China. That's old stock footage. You can't believe everything that you read on the internet, especially from mainstream. You understand? You have to read things, research things, and go with what resonates. You go with what resonates, you can't fail you. But don't be spoon-fed and just take it. I never took it in church, I'll never take it off the telly. That real. The whole planet is Willie lynched. It's that simple. The whole planet is Willie lynched. Not just us. The whole planet. We have to wake up from that. Things have been put in place centuries ago to get us to this point. You know, the face mask thing. You know, I've got young people, nieces, nephews, daughters, who use the Snapchat shit, and they've been putting the face mask on there from time. The first thing I did when I saw this thing, I said, how much does flu kill? I saw 50,000 people. And you know what, I'm blessed, my universe blesses me, because I'm very attuned to stuff. Just in February, I was watching a news report on CNN, saying that influenza B is having their worst season. Already by February, 15,000 men have dropped down dead. We old people. So not just workforce, it's working healthy people. I lost my job, but because I'm blessed and I work with young people, universe lined me up and I'm eating more than I ever have, funny enough. So you do have to stay pure in heart, pure in mind. And even if you think you cannot make a change, just start at home. Just be a nice person, better than the day before. And you can't go wrong out here. And stand up when you need to stand up.
Please remain calm. Please remain calm. Please remain calm.